DBSCG things.
What is up, you guys? My name is Taxon and welcome back to Yuhp DBSCG Things, and today I'm going to be bringing you another exciting discussion video, this one specifically on what I think is next for Yellow. This is coming out because Mecha was just hit for the second time. If you guys don't know about Mecha, Mecha was originally released in Draft Box 1, ran all types of anarchy on what people like to call the GOAT format, along with other leaders like Ss4 Goku, which just inevitably got banned. Got rebooted and then gave out as like a promotional card when you bought your boxes a few sets ago. It was just too OP once again, getting things like U9 banned and then inevitably just itself banned. So with that being said, guys, before I get into the leaders, which I think are going to be very, very good this upcoming format for Yellow, I do want to say if you are new here, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you are notified every single time I upload a video. Also, if you're just enjoyed today's content, consider doing the same thing. Also, leave comments below, guys. I do want to know what you guys think is up next for Yellow. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, guys, so let's dive right in, guys. So the very first deck I'm going to go ahead and talk about is Sinchenron. The reason I'm going to talk about Sinchenron is just because Sinchenron has always been a very, very good deck and a contender with Mecha Frieza while Mecha was around. The aggressive version was kind of hit, taking away Pan from the deck and also hitting Zeno so that it cannot come out on turn 3. So Control, in my opinion, is still a very, very solid route. Having the big 9-drop 30k revenge blocker that evolves over a 4-cost Sinchenron that you can basically establish on your second turn. It also has a auto that whenever your opponent plays a battle card, you may choose that battle card ignoring barrier and negate its skills for the turn. So basically, after an on-play auto that your opponent would have after playing a card, that card has no skills for the duration of the turn. So if it has a keyword skill like barrier, double strike, or anything like those, they are just gone for the turn. And also it's a revenge blocker so that if your opponent does decide to swing with the card that they played for that turn, you can just block it. If they don't kill the 30k, that card just dies and you keep your big boss monster. Also, tag along with this big 9-drop is just amazing because it does have recursion. So if your opponent gets rid of it by a skill or KO'd, you get to draw 2 cards and then replay the 1-drop off. So you can basically just dive right back into the chain. The 4-drop itself has basically the same idea. It's a blocker. Also has a very, very great skill where you get to choose one of your opponent's cards in rest mode, leader or battle cards in rest mode, and they cannot attack for the duration of your opponent's next turn. So making your opponent not be able to get the draw off their leader is very, very good. Also having recursion on him as well, so if you get rid of him with a skill or by KO, you get to draw a card and then play your 1-drop ball. And another great option that Sinchenron just has to offer is the SCR. It's not just the promo one that was released a while ago that just keeps standing as a blocker and minusing 5, and also as a 1-drop if you have the right requirements. The one that was released in Supreme Rivalry is just absolutely great as well. Ultimate blocker, he's treated as black in all areas, so you can include it in other decks than just yellow. Permanent, if this card would be removed from the battle area, it's removed from the game instead. That's just common on SCRs now, so that you cannot recur them. Auto, for 1 energy at the end of a battle when this card is using a combo from your hand, play it from your drop area. If you do, you can choose any number of your opponent's leaders, battle cards, or unisons equal to or less than their current energy, ignoring barrier, and switch them to rest mode. So that is absolutely phenomenal. You get to rest a whole bunch of stuff. And then also he has an activate main for 4 energy, so if he does stay on field, you can make him a double strike dual attack. Card in itself is just absolutely good. And also another good card that you can just include into this list, guys, is going to be the 8-drop promo. That is a triple striker that if you remove 7 Shadow Dragons from your drop and put them to your warp, you can play it for 1 energy. Absolutely great 30k triple striker for a game ender. Just absolutely phenomenal. With that being said, guys, that is what I think about Shin and think where it's at for the format. And next, guys, I do want to talk about Gohan and Icarus. This deck specifically is a control combo to draw heavy style deck. This deck has seen tons of play with players specifically like Joey Palladino topping with it and doing all different types of things. The blue-yellow variant is a very, very good if you include things like the Aegis Bojack. Being able to pitch a blue-yellow, restand 2 energy, and draw a card is just very, very good, especially tagging along with things like the Bardock Ape, which you can just tap 2, combo with it, and then after the combo, it would go to the drop, come into play, rest one of your opponent's battle cards, and draw you another card. Very, very good, especially if you have to specifically combo certain cards in this deck since it is a combo style deck. Next, I do want to talk about the Zamasu that you could add to the deck. Specifically, could replace Beerus because you can charge it ignoring energy exhaust, which is very, very good. The card does have text that when you counterplay, you can counterplay any style card that's coming out that has a cost of 4 or less, and it's returned to the owner's hand instead of being played. So that's very, very good because it just says card. You can target things like unisons. With that being said, guys, also being if it's dead in hand, also being a pitch target for Aegis is very, very good. Also, I do want to bring up the mono yellow version of the deck could be very, very good. Having boss monsters like the Gohan and Higher Dragon, for 1 energy you can evolve basically over one of your skillesses and put a 20k double striker into field. Although it does have unique, that's alright. So basically, next up, I do want to speak about the other Gohan and Higher Dragon Flying High, another 6-drop that has unique dual attack. If he's removed, he's put to the warp instead. He also gives all of your skillless battle cards with an energy cost of 1, 5k power, so they do become 15k attackers if this card is in field, and you can put him into field for 1 energy with his activate main. If you have 3 or more energy and you choose 2 of your yellow skillless battle cards with energy cost of 1 and place them into the owner's drop area, you can play this card from your hand. Getting things like this offer is very, very good paired with the SR Higher Dragon that does play 2 skillless for 1 energy, or just your leader's effect in general that plays a skillless until your field. So that specifically is about it for Gohan. I do want to know what you guys think about that deck specifically, so leave a comment below. I do want to know. With that being said, let's move to the next one. Next, I want to take the time to talk about Ss4 Goku released in Cross Spirits. This deck is very, very good in my opinion. I have been playing with it a lot, also talking to a few local players that do play the deck as well. It does do very, very good. Let me say, guys, as a mono yellow deck, it is very, very good. Having a whole bunch of basically free play blockers with the leader's effects is very, very good. Also having cheap things like a 20k double striker, which I'll talk about really quick, is the Ss4 Son Goku the Brawler for 1 energy. When he's revealed from the top of your deck and placed in the drop area, you can play him from the drop area, and then when he's comes into field, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, no cost requirement, not ignoring barrier, and KO it, which is very, very good, actually putting some type of removal into yellow. He's also a 20k double strike that you're only putting out for 1 energy, which is very, very good. A lot of other things are just blockers. There's a 1-drop blocker that rests a card that comes out. He's a 3-drop actually, but he comes out for 1 energy and rests a card when he comes out. Other things like the Pan that will give your leader crit and just as a blocker comes out for free. Also there's like a Gohan that comes out for free, it's just a blocker. So very, very good. The deck does have a lot of defense and able to see later turns to get off the big boss monster, which is the Son Goku Return of the Dragon Fist. This card is phenomenal. It does have deflect, so versing blue, you are safe to play this card just about whenever. It has 25k base power with double strike, so that's very, very good. And it only comes out for 3 energy. If you have, but you have to be at 4 energy. If you have 4 more energy and have a yellow unit in play, you can play this card from hand. So tag along with your leader's effect, you can basically grab your unison at any point in the game, put it into field, and then you have this guy alive with his tap 3 effect. Auto, when you play this card, you get to choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards and switch them to rest mode. So if your opponent does have blockers in field, before you even attack with this card, you get to rest them. So that is very, very good. Or if you just want to rest a card that you want to swing into and just try to get rid of. Another great thing about the card is activate main Spirit Boost 2. So you would knock 2 markers off your unison, and the card would gain dual attack for the duration of the turn, and then your opponent cannot activate skills on battle cards with an original cost of 7 or less from any area while this card is in battle. So if your opponent has super combos in hand and they want to try to super combo out of this attack, they cannot use the auto. So if they have a 0+0 super combo, they are not going to get that +10 combo power. So that card is very, very good. With that being said, guys, that is what I think about Ss4 Goku. I do think it's going to be very, very good having cheaper style big boss monsters. With that being said, let's move to the next one. And the next one, in my opinion, is kind of off the wall, but like I said, this is my opinion. If you guys have other opinions, leave them in the comments below. I do want to hear what you guys think is up next for Yellow coming in this next format. I do want to say I think Jiren, Yellow Jiren from set 9 is going to be fantastic. Not only you could play the green-yellow variant and get up to the big 10-drop quad-strike boss monster, but this game in general is going to be going to late game now that a lot of the free play aggression was taken away. So Jiren specifically has an effect on the backside where you can, if you have a U11 in field, which you can easily do so because there is barrier 1-drops in this deck, you can rip a life, and then you cannot take, it's an activate battle, so during battle you can take a life, and then you can't take damage from any of your opponent's attacks for the duration of the turn. So if you get down to 4 and then you awaken, you have an opportunity to do that 3 times. So, other great things about this deck is that you could play red-yellow if you really, really wanted to. There's a Coquette that you could play out with your leader's front side ability to play out the 1-drop Kunchi. Also tagging along things like Topo in the deck is very, very good. Another great thing about the Jiren deck and why I decided to bring it up is because it's going to have huge, huge boss monsters. Let's specifically talk about the 12-drop. The 12-drop is a deflect quadruple strike, so when he comes out, when he swings, he's swinging for 4 damage. He has a permanent when there's 9 or more U11 cards in your drop area, you can reduce him in your hand by 6, making him a 5-cost card. So, like I said, this game, in my opinion, is going to be slowing down in the format, and to tag along with your leader effect, you can push to that turn 5. Also has a permanent that during battles with this card, when he attacks, your opponent cannot negate or activate blockers. So they basically have to rely specifically only on their hand's combo power. So in my opinion, this card's very, very good and a very, very good boss monster in order to try to get games. Another card I did want to talk about is the 10 drop. Not the 10 drop green yellow one, but the 10 drop Absolute Justice. So specifically another big 35k quadruple strike. He has a permanent as well that says reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each U11 in your battlefield. So if you're playing out that one drop that has barrier and you're putting out any 2 costs or less, they're all going to gain barrier and make it very hard for your opponent to get rid of, so that you can reduce the cost of this guy very, very easily. He is a specified 5, so you can only get him down to 5 another turn 5 W. But with that being said, he does have an auto that says when you play this card, choose all your opponent's battle cards and energy in rest mode and place them in the drop area. So if your opponent did any type of lots of swinging, any types of tapping to play cards, all those cards are going to the drop area. So if your opponent does survive this quadruple strike, they're going to be put back into a situation they're going to have to fight out of. So that's very, very good boss monster in my opinion, and I think that this deck will make it into the format. With that being said, let's move to the next one. And last but not least, guys, I am going to put Future Gohan into this list because I personally think this deck is going to do very, very good in this upcoming format. So leave a comment below what you guys think is going to do good in this upcoming format. But with that being said, guys, I do want to talk about the deck. It is going to be a mono yellow blocker control style deck that is able to put out a lot of crit pressure along with your leader's effect. So very, very good. Also, the boss monster in this deck is very, very good. If you get to turn 4, this card will come out either for 4 energy off its own effect, for 2 energy off this effect, or for 3 energy off this effect. Basically, this card comes out, double strike, barrier, dual attack, blocker, all the keyword skills basically. Activate main, choose once per turn, choose one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards, one of the rest mode energies, and both of those cards cannot stand to active on your opponent's next turn. So that is very, very good and able to lock your opponent out and stop a little bit of their pressure on their opposing turn if you do not kill them with this boss monster. So also paired along with the Unison, you can stand this guy up after activating that main, and then block with him twice paired with your leader's effect on your opponent's next turn. And also it's a yellow deck in general, so just having access to Nimbus and things like that is very, very good. Power of the Super Saiyan into Bergamo going into this big boss monster the turn after would just be absolutely astonishing. So with that being said, guys, that is my reasoning on why Gohan is going to be very, very good. Like I said, I do want to know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments below what decks you guys think are going to be very, very good for yellow in this upcoming format. But with that being said, I do want to give out a couple honorary mentions in decks that I just didn't talk about in this video, but I do want to say I think are going to be good. So starting off with Super 17 out of the Cross Spirits set, I think it's going to be great. Android 17 and 18, just because there's been so much Android support recently, I think both of them are just going to be very, very good. Garlic Jr. specifically, I just think is a fun deck, and I think might be able to do good depending on the player. The expansion Topo Leader deck is very, very good. Only being able to swing with 1 battle card a turn is pretty rough. And then last but not least, starter deck Baby Vegeta. I think if you want to play an aggressive route yellow deck, that's probably the way to go. I do think it's very, very good. With that being said, guys, that was today's video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think is up next for yellow in this upcoming format. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Deuces.